In my time, I have made some crazy farms in my hardcore world. But not all of them have to be complicated. Sometimes, simpler is just so much better. Like this very efficient cave spider farm, which anybody could build. So I'm going to create a super quick and easy little farm that will give me XP whilst I'm AFK. Although to build this, I'm going to need quite a bit more glass. And whilst that's smelting, I'm going to dig out a massive hole. I think this room is going to be big enough. Kind of ironically, I'm building this so I can get more cobblestone, but I got loads of cobblestone just from mining all of this out. And now to start building some giant portals. Times like this that I made a wither powered obsidian farm because I just use so much obsidian for stuff. And having to manually mine all this up would have just taken forever. Using scaffolding is the only way I can see that I can realistically do the roof. Either that or I'd have to just build massive towers everywhere. And that is the roof done, as well as this wall. Before I light them, I'm also going to do all of the portals on this side, and also the mechanism in the middle. And at long last, every single portal is built. Now, pigmen are going to spawn in these portals, and they are then going to go after a turtle egg. I'll put the turtle egg right here and then a hole here. They'll be stupid enough to think they can get it and walk down the hole. Although to make sure that they're stupid enough, I'm going to use trapdoors to trick them. This is the tube that they'll be rising upwards in. I'm also going to need to get a pigman into that hole there, so I'm just going to build a temporary tube right here. Sign can go there, and we're going to have a load of water that's going to be flowing all the way down here. Might as well finish this tube as well while I'm at it. There we go, looking pretty good. Let's add the trapdoors. And now for the system that's going to be down here. Place that there. I am going to need a load of kelp as well. So yeah, let's just make it onto water sources now. Now the trick at the bottom here is to have a little wall so that when you walk along here, you can see it just steps you straight up. I'm also going to break all of these, and that water can go there, and then we can kind of just do something like this. So yeah, they'll fall in here, they'll get pushed along, and then from here, they will get pushed by other pigmen and go all the way up. From this bit, I'd better make this wall a little bit higher. But one of the guys is going to float along and fall down there. I'll just have to light up a bunch of portals to get him to show up. Now then, we have got a pigman coming through. He's fallen down the hole and he is rising up. And there we go. He's trapped in there. Although apparently I have no name tags. That's a slight problem. Oh no, I'm just blind, guys. Seems to be a few come in as well. Right, look, we can only have room for one in here. Okay, the rest of you, you're just going to have to land on glass. We're going to call him Aggressive Man because he's going to be making everybody else angry. And now I've just got to work out how I'm going to modify this farm so that the pigmen will drop next to me. Who'd have thought someone would have put this much effort into just farming cobblestone? I know I could just use a TNT duper and make it AFK, but I don't really like using TNT dupers when I'm farming for resources. I'm starting to get a decent design together now. This door will instead be here. All of this crying obsidian is going to instead be hoppers with stairs on the sides, and underneath the hoppers is also going to be this crying obsidian. And all of these need to be waterlogged, which is quite convenient because I'm right by a river. And then lava is to go on top of the water. This is looking very good indeed. Although I have realised that it's a little bit flawed because the water can't always get through. But it's actually more efficient to look at it at this angle anyway, which then works fine. And the pigmen are going to be landing right here. Got a little bit carried away with building this tower. I made it way too high. Now, if I've built this correctly, when I mine away the dirt, the water should flow all the way along. Okay, I forgot to put a sign there. Hold on. Get there, you stupid sign. There we go. That's sorted. Well, it's probably going to be better for the farm if I break this sign and make it higher by 1. Or even better, what if I made this underneath the water ice? That would make it even better. Anyway, you know what? We don't need to overcomplicate this. Let's just get rid of the dirt tower and also the lava on this side because it's only going to cause me problems. You see, now I can mine the middle ones and not have a problem. And if I want to go for the edge ones as well to get even more, I can just do that. I'm also curious to see if I can cactus the drops by putting a bit of sand here, cactus on top. The only question that raises is it going to stop me from getting the XP? And if we punch the aggressive man to make him angry, that is where falling pigmen should give me XP, but I don't think they really are. I think the cactus is probably messing up. Let's get rid of that and go with this again. Yeah, look at that. We got some XP that time. Everything seems to be working as intended, so let's go and light up the rest of these portals. Look at that, he just jumped straight in. To say it looks very, very cool in here. Can I even get out? Okay, I might even be trapped. I might be going through. No, we're not. Yep, we've gone through. Okay, where have we ended up? Okay, we've ended up down here. Unfortunately, it seems like the farm isn't quite working as intended. I'm guessing it's because I don't have line of sight or something. So I'm just going to slightly adjust the design down here to make it properly work. The aggressive man is instead going to live right here, and the plan will be for the pigman to die to drowning. Okay, drowning is just taking too long. Instead, we're using a rail and a whole load of minecarts. The rail's going to go like that, and I need 24 minecarts on here. That right there should be enough. And there's also going to be a sign with some water. Yep, that's perfect. Break that. Okay, in theory, this should all now just work perfectly. And I will also need a load of snowballs to aggro the pigmen. And I do seem to be getting XP from it. Perfect, it's working. But the question is, will it be stop enough to stop my pickaxe from breaking? Well, I've been running for a bit, and it does seem like the XP is it's generally going up its durability, or at the very least staying in roughly the same area. Let's light up this spawner. And next I need to dig out a massive room around it. I have to say, chiseling everything out is very, very fast when you've got haste. Now I just need to add water all the way along here. And this is going to flow onto magma. And underneath the magma is going to be a hopper minecart system, which means I'm going to have to nip back home and get some rails. 4 powered ones and a few normal ones too. So we're going to do something like that. And get a hopper there and those connecting. Pretty standard stuff if you ask me. And under here I can create a little storage system. Let's patch up this hole in the roof. Place blocks above the spawner and then remove all the torches. Place stairs like this. Set off my minecart hopper and place the magma and just watch the loot flow in. I've come to the realization that this system is extremely inefficient. A better system is going to be to have water right there and water right here, which will then push the spiders to here. And here we have design version 2, so we're going to just place blocks all along here. Then I can remove all of these torches. When the spiders spawn, they'll come along here and flow down there. Then they'll end up right here where I can take them out. I've just dug a chamber, so now I just need some kelp. Then I can place water here and also water right here with torches next to it so it doesn't become ice. Now let's place redstone blocks on the sides like this and place iron trapdoors on them. Now I'm going to add loads of kelp, and I have to say that does look kind of cool. It looks like there's no water here, which is very strange, but if we do that it'll come back. Then we're going to add this, and we've got ourselves a nice little water elevator. Now this farm is going to require draining a bit of the water, although at this point I am a bit of an expert at doing that now. So this is the part where it gets fun. All of this needs to be drained, but then also all the areas around this as well, so that we get squids only spawning where I want them to. And doing something like this is the best way for me to dry all of my sponge. Now let's get back to draining. I don't think I need to drain this cave, really. It depends what Y level it is at. Okay, yeah, maybe I will need to drain. Look at the squids that are spawned. Oh my goodness, yeah. Suddenly, I didn't choose such a good location. And whilst it's a bigger project than I initially expected, it also won't take me too long, I don't think. And why won't it take me too long? Because I'm going to head back home, grab plenty more sponge, which should speed up the process. A lot of time has passed and I've been doing a lot of draining, much to the dismay of these poor fish. And I've drained this entire river as far as it needs to be out of the spawn distance. Well, I will have done... See, look at this. You can see it's working because there's loads of squids in it. Well, you guys won't be spawning here for much longer. And there is this cave that goes underneath the river, but I don't need to drain that because squid cannot spawn below level Y equals 50. And then all of that water down there isn't in the river biome, so I also don't need to worry about it. Might as well only get rid of the water that I actually need to get rid of. And the same was the case with all this water here. It looks like it's in a river biome, but it's actually part of the dark oak forest. And doing this isn't really necessary, but I think I'm going to block up the holes on the side. I know squid can't spawn in there, but I just feel like it's tidying up the landscape a bit. Same for this one right here. And finally this one there. So, I'm almost done. But I need to drain a load of this river as well, unfortunately, because squids can spawn in it. But once I've done this, I will be ready to build the squid farm. The fact that squids are actually one of the hardest mobs to farm has kind of caught me by surprise. It doesn't help that this river is just so deep. But on the plus side, at least it's not as wide as the other one. And according to my calculations, I need to drain the river as far as this, because yeah, this is all still river. I suppose does dripstone caves not count as river, which might be useful. I don't know. It's all a bit of a mix of different biomes, so I think just to be safe, I'm going to drain it, yeah, all the way up to here. That's quite a lot, but there's only one way to put your... Well, there's only one way to do it. Put your best foot forward. And I have now successfully marked out the entire area where the river needs to be removed. All of this over here is dripstone caves. Although I have unfortunately run out of sand. I've got this that I can mine up, but I doubt it's going to be enough for the project. So I'm going to place down the sand that I have available. And then I'll quickly nip back home to get a new shulker box worth of sand. Everything in there should be enough. Let's also dry out all of the sponge. And let's hurry up and finish draining this river. And that is now all of the sand down. Everywhere is marked out. I just need to get my sponge and get draining. And finally, I have drained it all out. I think this is too low. Yeah, it's below Y equals 50, so that is good, and it's even that way anyway. So yeah, that was a crazy project. It better be worth it for this squid farm. I do now have to dig out a massive hole here, and I've come to realise, guys, that if I continue this squid farm, there is absolutely no chance that I get round to doing the end portal room, and that is more important to me. And the thing that I need to do right now is dig out quite a big hole. So I'm going to set up a haste 2 beacon, and then get mining. That is everything dug out. I'm going to grab a load of obsidian, and then I'm going to start building some portals. Plus, I've also realised I need to make this hole 1 block wider. Kind of makes me wish that I hadn't broken my beacon. And all of this has now successfully been mined out. Loads of spare blocks on the floor. Not going to worry about them. Instead, I'm just going to start placing obsidian. It's going to be a 17 high portal, and I'm going to connect it up all the way to the other side. Hopefully not falling. And there's only going to be 2 of these portals anyway, which isn't going to be too bad. So let's go ahead and take a little bit of fall damage. But I have got portal number 1. Actually, I lied. There's going to be 2 more portals, not 1 more. And now that they are all in, let's grab a few stacks of glass and fill in the gaps in the middle, as well as the sides too. And apparently, for whatever reason, I have not brought enough glass. Don't know how I managed that, but it does mean that I'm going to have to go all the way home, grab plenty more, drop off a load of this junk, and then continue adding these glass walls. I'm also going to cover the tops with glass, light the 3 portals, and then I need water. Thankfully, this is not a river biome, so I didn't have to drain the water here, so I can fill 2 buckets, and then go along and fill in the whole thing with water source blocks. This is probably going to take quite a bit of time, and that is this one now completely filled in with water. Time to do the same thing on this side, and this side is also done. Now I'm at the middle point, and I'm going to build up 10 blocks and dig a tunnel to where my AFK spot is going to be. This block right here is where I should stand, and right here is where another portal is going to be. Let's remove this portal from up here, and now when I go through, there's a chance, well, I'm greeted with an ink sac. I think I'm going to be greeted by a few squid. Okay, not just a few. What have I done? They're everywhere. What a mess you guys are making. Get out of here. Well, at least the farm seems to be working, but now we need to make it actually fit correctly into place. My first portal will be in the wall right here. This lantern can be removed, and I need to get some slabs for... In fact, no, actually, do we just remove the slabs completely and... Yeah, I think that works, doesn't it? I'm hoping this all links. We've just got a lot of portals in one area, but this is where the squids should be able to come through. Let's just light up this one. Yeah, the problem is with lighting it that squids are going to start coming through, but I need the materials to build the rest of the farm, so I've got no choice. Yep, well, it's working. Look at them. All in this area, ready to be removed. Now I'm just decorating the area to make it look a bit nicer. And this is my version of decorating a room, just basically filling it all with the same block. The chest that will collect the ink sac is going to be there, and then we're going to have hoppers going in. There's also going to be a row of glass in front, which I think, well, actually, I better not fill it all in, because I need to place a boat, which contains a baby chicken. Then if I give, okay, I don't want to be in the boat with you. The idea is if I give the chicken some seeds, it'll grow up faster, but its hitbox is too small. So instead, I'm going to break the boat, give the chicken its seeds, and then lure it in. There we go. Fully grown chicken. We can send you theoretically... Okay, well, I know I need to break this block. You can go on down. Then we need to do the same thing and get another chicken. There we go. Don't get in the boat. Are you just doing this on purpose? Run straight for the boat every time. And now that you've grown up, I'll send you to go on top of the other one. There we go. Chicken number 3. And I'm going to have to nip home and grab another boat for the last one. Just 5 spruce planks will be required. And hopefully in the next 13 eggs, well, I did get a baby. It always seems to want to run over there. I'm guessing because there's an adult chicken or something underneath. That's all I can think of. Don't you dare run outside now. No, we're blocking this up. Final boat down. Definitely had enough of dealing with these chickens. But now that it is done, the portal can be completed and then lit up with my flint and steel if I can find it. I think if I just do it there, that works. Let's patch up the roof. And in theory, well, it's almost done. We've got a hole there. I don't want that. Are we okay on the other side? I think we are. So in theory, it should be completely done. The only thing that could possibly go wrong is if the squids come through this portal. But I'm confident. If I stand here, the squid are now spawning. So let's head through and see if it's working. No squids there. Why are just non-spawning whatsoever? Although we do have one little ink sac. Okay, well, you know, we'll put it in there. It makes me feel like it's working. So the first fix for my farm will be to move this portal and move it one slot along to be further away from the other portal. That should solve the problem of squids turning up in there, and now they will be in there. And now if I go back through, stand here for a short amount of time and then go back through again, some squid have come through. And so I am technically getting ink sacs, but I've also discovered an issue. Biomes are a bit more 3D in 1.18, so under here, there is, like, it becomes a river biome at certain points in the dripstone caves. Here we are. As you can see, if I go down, I'm in a birch forest. If I swim up, it becomes a river and goes back to a birch forest. Well, that's a problem. So I think my best option, rather than cutting corners like I did before, is to instead drain out a lot more of the river so that we do not run into any more problems. And efficiency is as good as it can be. The mob cap for squids is really, really low. So even if just there's a few spawned in here, you know, it only takes like 4 or 5 to spawn, and then my farm won't work. So I kind of have to make sure it's fully working perfectly and there's no water. Well, there's no water in a river biome at the very least anyway. Never really a fan of doing this, but let's start placing down sponges. I think I'll also find it very useful to grab a hoe. And there's no point me draining all of in here because that is literally just all going to be dripstone caves. So I'm blocking it off with sand so I can get back to getting rid of... Oh, look at more gaps. They've all got to go. And that's one compartment down. Many more to go. And I'm happy that over this side, I have definitely drained enough this time. And I've had a really good look on this side. And I think it is all either birch forest or dripstone cave, so I'm not going to worry too much about draining it here. And I've discovered that a squid has spawned underneath this river. I think there's like a water cave underneath the river where squids can spawn. I really chose the worst place ever for this farm, but I'm going to drain out as much of it as I can. And I think I've pretty much drained everything that needs to be. I mean, down here I can drain if I want, but it's probably too low for squid to spawn anyway. So now after making all these little adjustments, it's time to see if it's making the farm actually work. Let's head on through the portal and see what happens. Okay, no sign of squids being everywhere, except for everywhere in here. Oh, look at this. We've got an egg as well. Brilliant. An egg farm we've created, and a salmon as well. But in a very, very short amount of time, we've got so many ink sacs. This is fantastic. I think my best option now is to fly back home, dry out all of the sponge, and then dump it into the storage. And now I want to grab plenty of shulker boxes, which will be ready to be filled with ink sacs. And then I'm going to go through this portal, add some torches, and AFK right here for quite a bit. Plenty of time has passed. I have still sometimes got the problem of squid connecting to this portal. And when that happens, ink sacs will then go back through. But just look at the success of this. Every single shulker box has been filled. This has solved all of my problems. Why on earth are there pillagers in the boats? I have no idea. Anyway, let's gather all of these up, dye them all black, and head back home.